John Carter, in their eyes, never showed any remorse, never really shared the story as to what happened, leaving the family, the Markham family, left with a lot of unanswered questions. Look at this vehicle here, right next to the driver's side handle. You can see there's one bullet hole right in that car. And this is not the only one. In fact, let's come across the street here. Again, this is Freeman Avenue, and you can see this blue sedan right here has 2 more bullet holes. And on Monday, there were actually crews working at the top of Crew Tower, and the wind blew scaffolding into that tower, according to the Cincinnati Fire Department, and knocked off pieces of brick. This is one of the pieces a firefighter actually said was one of the larger pieces. And this is a tennis ball to give you a little bit of perspective as the size of these that fell. Now, we know at least 2 cars were hit and damaged by rocks or bricks like this one. This guide wire here, if I pick it up, it does attach all the way to that portion way down there in the middle of the street, and that's what broke off from the top. I can tell you right now that it was about 6 hours ago. The fire chief tells us it happened around 4 o'clock, and as you can see behind me, there are still crews here working. You can even see a little bit of that smoke smoldering up into the air there, and we do know now that this is a deadly fire. We have learned that 3 people were killed. Right behind that stop sign is where Latonia Elementary School is, and there are students there who are taking part in after-school activities. That school was placed on lockdown, and it currently is on lockdown, and that's going to be for the safety of the students. And they are very early on into investigating this, trying to search for that evidence, trying to find the DNA, trying to figure out which suspects they should be searching for. So, Rob, Tricia, all night long we've been telling you this is an officer-involved shooting, and the police chief here at Colerain just moments ago actually telling us more details about why it's an officer-involved shooting. He's telling us that when officers arrived to Kroger for, again, those reports of gunshots being fired, they were approached by a suspect with a handgun pointed at the officers. And in fact, the Colerain police chief tells us a gunfight ensued, and the suspect actually retreated into the store. So that's where those gunshots were ringing out right there at that Kroger, and they tell us that during that exchange of gunfire, an innocent bystander was struck.
All right, we're at Kroger. Suspect armed with a handgun.
That's the scanner traffic that sent Colerain police officers rushing to the Kroger on Springdale Road just a couple of minutes before 4 p.m. on Tuesday.
It's going to be a white male, blue shirt, black backpack. He's inside the store.
I see a lady back up her car, and then I look to my right, and I just see a man holding a gun, pointing a gun down. And then I just took off running. Micah Lewis works inside of the Kroger, and she says that she heard even more gunshots ring out after she took off running. I'm still running. I get over to the bistro area. I hear more than 10 shots go off, and it's still going, and then I just ended up flying out the door, and everybody's just running out. Colerain police tell us responding officers were confronted by the suspect holding a gun.
As officers approached the involved suspect, the suspect pointed a gun at our officers just outside the store. A gunfight ensued with the suspect retreating into the store. Officers engaged the suspect, resulting in the suspect being struck and quickly taken into custody. Police tell us an innocent bystander was also shot. Both people shot were taken to the University of Cincinnati Medical Center and are expected to be okay. Once police had the suspect in custody, police scanner traffic shows the focus began shifting to securing the area.
We need to clear the store methodically, and everybody that is with somebody that's injured needs to stay with that person. We need 2 to 3 units to close down the complete parking lot of Kroger's at this point. No traffic in or out.
With the scene secure and no threat to the public, officers spent over 5 hours collecting evidence like the footage captured by Kroger security cameras.
Everything is safe. They want to make sure that everything is being processed correctly before they, let people back in and let things happen. There's a lot of interviewing going on because a lot of people were around, so there was a lot of interviewing going on.
Now, Colerain police tell us that no officers were injured, and I do want to point out that the officers who were involved in the shots being fired have been placed on administrative leave, which is standard protocol, while the Ohio Bureau of Criminal Investigation handles this investigation. But for now, reporting live in Colerain with photojournalist Jared Darwish, I'm Chancellor Wynn, Fox 19 Now. Yeah, so we are live here in Norwood because we're at the Norwood Police Department where officers arrested 21-year-old Carl Hall Bates. He's the man accused of sending those inappropriate pictures, videos, and messages to 2 young girls on Snapchat. Now, Norwood police say there is already a 3rd victim who's come forward, and they believe other victims could still be out there. Tonight, I spoke to Fox 19 tech expert Dave Hatter about what you can do to help keep your kids safe while online.
If someone isn't a predator in the traditional sense, are there adults out there connecting with children? Yes.
Two parents recently showed up to the Norwood Police Department after their 11 and 12-year-old daughters received inappropriate pictures, videos, and messages from a man on Snapchat. According to Norwood Police, the inappropriate material was sent by this man, 21-year-old Carl Hall Bates. Investigators tell me Hall Bates used this Snapchat username to connect with the young girls. According to court documents, the girls told Hall Bates they were 13 years old, to which he wrote back, quote, "Oh, okay, do you have an iPhone?" Documents say he then sent his phone number and another inappropriate picture.
Most of these social media platforms have a similar kind of capability. I mean, even like LinkedIn, which is technically for business professionals, will say you might know this person.
Police say the girl's account popped up on Hall Bates' Snapchat in a list of people he, quote, may know. We reached out to our Fox 19 Now tech expert, Dave Hatter. He's been working in the IT field for more than 30 years and provided some insight on the challenges parents are facing with their kids and technology.
This sort of thing comes up all the time, and it's difficult for parents because, first off, unless you really monitor your kid's phone closely, you probably don't know what apps they're using. Secondarily, even if you know they have Snapchat, do you really understand? I mean, unless you use Snapchat yourself, do you really understand what it does?
Hatter says technology can be overwhelming and complicated, so it's important to warn your kids about the dangers online when it comes to talking with strangers. But Hatter says there are a few things you can do on top of warning your child.
There are applications you can buy and install on the phone. You can try to use the parental controls. You know, to get something like NetNanny or Circle or one of these things, they cost money.
Another resource Hatter recommends is X, formerly known as Twitter, where you can follow law enforcement agencies like the FBI who warn about these types of crimes.
I think awareness and education, having the conversation is the first and easiest step probably. And then trying to use resources like the FBI to figure out, like, well, what is a good way to go about this? And what's a credible company to work with? So there's stuff out there, but it's a lot to take in.
Now, if you think your child may have had some type of contact with Carl Hall Bates, contact the Norwood Police Department because, again, investigators believe more victims could be out there. But for now, reporting live in Norwood with photojournalist Jared Darwish, I'm Chancellor Wynn, Fox 19 Now.
By now, you have seen Joe Burrow's new haircut, and the attention is getting on social media after the Bengals shared these photos.
And tonight, our Chancellor Wynn sat down with a man behind the Clippers to see how this look came together.
All right, Chance, live from Paycor Stadium. Were you tempted at all to
follow him down? Yeah.
Yeah, and cut those locks of yours?
Cutting the locks was not as tempting as bleaching it blonde. I've done it before, and I wanted to do it again, but I stayed out of the barbershop chair. But I can't tell you we're live here at Paycor because this is where Joe Burrow first debuted that new bleach blonde buzz cut. So tonight I spoke to his barber, and his barber tells me that they were kicking around a couple of ideas over the past few weeks about what to do with Burrow's hair. But the idea for the bleach blonde buzz cut actually came from Burrow himself. This is the barber behind Joe Burrow's new look.
He sprung it up on me one day, and I was like, listen, if you're ready, we'll do it. I'm down.
Darnell Bonner is the owner of Nell's Barbershop in Florence, and he's the man Burrow goes to when he's looking to make a statement with his hair.
Hair is definitely an extension of who you are and kind of like a portrayal of what you're trying to, you know, your image, what you want your image to be. So I'd say with him specifically, again, he's kind of showed that you just don't know what's coming next.
While Burrow doesn't appear to follow trends, he does seem to start them. Bonner believes the next big style will be the bleached blonde buzz cut.
We're going to be flooded with the Burrow bleached buzz cut. It is no longer just a bleach buzz. It's going to be the Burrow bleach buzz. So I anticipate a big wave of that. So we're going to have to adjust our books a little bit to kind of take on that overflow. I'm sure it's coming.
If you're thinking of going for the Burrow bleached buzz cut yourself, Bonner has a little advice.
You got to rock it. You got to confidently rock whatever you do. So in today's era, everybody's doing something new. Everybody's doing something so individual, so personalized. So just rock it, own it.
And helping sculpt someone's personalized style is something Bonner says he's been doing since a young age.
I had a white stepdad. He kept giving me the white man's cut, and all my black friends would make fun of me. So I had to learn how to cut my own hair. And next thing you know, I fell in love with it. All my friends are asking, hey, can you cut me up before school? Can you cut me up before we go out?
Now it just happens to be Joe Burrow asking Bonner for a cut. So I had to ask him, are there any other Bengals players who he hopes to have in his barbershop one day?
Out of respect for the other barbers in this city, I will not tell you who I would like to get my hands on.
But there is somebody.
Oh, for sure. You know, I would love the whole team.
Now, if you are thinking about getting Burrow's bleached buzz cut, Bonner says you can try to schedule an appointment with him. As you heard, he's going to be trying to change the books around to make some more openings, but I got a feeling it's going to be a bit tough to get inside of that barbershop. But for now, reporting live at Paycor Stadium with photojournalist Christopher Waldman, I'm Chancellor Wynn, Fox 19 Now.
He is going to be flooded with people, even on the off chance. Not only is he talented, but in the off chance people are going to be sitting next to Joe Burrow in the chair the next time.
I know. And I assume he's going to be flooded with female clients as well.
I can only imagine so. I mean, we were actually in Florence for quite a bit of time, and we saw men, women, both people wearing blonde hair, whether or not that had to do with Joe Burrow, because it is so quick since that picture's been released, but it is definitely a trend that we're seeing.
I don't know, guys. I've been thinking about going short again. Maybe that's
No.
Maybe that's where I go.